the south of Somalia. They wanted to besiege us, but this did not happen. We took our precautions earlier. They were bombarding us. There were operations of personal reinforcement ahead of our troops and after them, and from all sides. But with God's help, our troops were not. I can say only 5% of our troops were either killed or injured.
What about you? Would you tell us briefly how did you get out of Somalia? How did you reach a deal with the Kenyans?
We headed to the south of Somalia, namely to the Kenyan-Somali border, which is full of dense forests, and we wanted to hide there. With God's help, we were able to disappear inside the forests. The US and Ethiopian troops were tracing us everywhere. There were also heavy rains and mud, and it was difficult to move. Most of the cars stopped midway, and we had to continue walking. Military airplanes, Ethiopian and American, were hovering over every tree. With God's assistance, we were able to disappear. We stayed there for a relatively long period of time. I stayed in the forest for around 20 days. We were finally able to contact our brothers in Yemen, and we asked them to contact the Kenyan government. Our relationship with the Kenyan government was not bad. Even though they were supporting the transitional government, we kept our relationship with them. They were told that I would move to Kenya. They agreed and welcomed me on the Kenyan-Somali border. They sent me a plane. I went by plane to Kenyan capital Nairobi, and then to Yemen.
Did the Kenyans put any conditions on hosting you?
No, not at all. The Kenyans were the ones who best understood that the Union of Islamic Courts is a national force and one should deal with it. There were some government officials who had a different opinion, but the majority of Kenyan officials considered the Union of Islamic Courts as a force that they should have contacts with. When we talk about bilateral relationships between the neighboring countries, many factors should be taken into consideration.
Let us talk about your meeting with the US ambassador. Who asked for this meeting?
الإخوة في كينيا أبلغوني بأن السفير الأمريكي يريد مقابلتي.
My brothers, the Kenyans, told me that the US ambassador wanted to meet me. Of course, the US ambassador was dealing with me based on his government's recommendations. He was dealing with us in a good manner since the beginning. Even after we left the capital, we contacted each other. He said, "We want to send you a plane." I replied, "This is impossible now, because we are fighting and defending ourselves. We will consider your offer later on." He was also among the ones encouraging the Kenyan government to treat me well.
How do you explain this? Isn't there a kind of contradiction? The Americans are supporting those attacking you, and at the same time, they want to protect you?
I mean, this is a double standard stance. The US administration has always been using double standards. Within the same state, the Department of Defense would deal with you in a way, and the State Department in a different way. This is commonplace when it comes to the Americans.
How do you interpret this? What do you think was their intention?
We cannot explain this position. When you find a good deed, you put intentions aside, whether they're good intentions or bad ones. In all cases, we know that the US support encouraged the Ethiopians to send their troops to Somalia. This support is continuing. If they were aware of the ensuing problems faced by the Somali people, things would have been different. I think that their wrong understanding of the Somali reality pushed them to take wrong decisions.
Did the US ambassador offer you a certain deal, interests, or a plan to deal with them?
I don't think we can describe it as a deal, but rather the vision of the US administration, like engaging in a dialogue with the government in our personal quality, not as an institution, calling upon the Somali people to stop the war, renouncing violence and terrorism amongst others. Our answer was clear. It would not be useful to take part in a dialogue in our personal quality. If we want peace, the Union of Islamic Courts should engage in negotiations as an institution. In terms of terrorism, we are not terrorists, and we do not encourage terrorism.
لسنا إرهابيين ولا نشجع الإرهاب.
If you refuse the demands or the conditions of the US ambassador, there must have been consequences. How do you describe the current relationship between you and the Americans, between the Union of Islamic Courts and the Americans?
I cannot describe the relationship between the Union of Islamic Courts and the US administration because they were not good in the first place. The Union of Islamic Courts were driven out of Somalia. It's up to them. As Somali people, we want to protect ourselves, to defend our country, to seek peace, whether we are inside Somalia or outside. When we were inside Somalia, we did not harm or attack any country. All our activities were oriented towards Somalia, towards restoring security and stability to our country.
You said there were no Al-Qaeda members, no terrorism in Somalia. What is Somalia's strategic importance for the Americans?
First of all, Somalia enjoys a strategic location in the Horn of Africa, near Bab al-Mandab, the Cape of Good Hope. Second, Somalia's resources are still untapped. I think that the Americans look to Somalia from strategic and economic points of view. In my opinion, the Americans know that there's no terrorism in Somalia. They went into Somalia and did not find any terrorist. They did not hand over any terrorist. They should have told us, we found these terrorists in Somalia, we killed some of them, wounded them or arrested them, but they didn't find any. The Union of Islamic Courts did not undertake any terrorist attack that could threaten its neighbors or others. In my opinion, the Americans are confident that there is no terrorism. Terrorism is created for political ends.
But this contradicts the report saying that a US attack inside Somalia led to the killing of an armed leader affiliated to Al-Qaeda.
I heard about it when I was in the forest. He was a Somali member of the Union of Islamic Courts. He has never been accused of taking part in terrorist attack. Until now, we cannot accuse him of any terrorist attack. There's another problem. Laws and Islamic Sharia say that an accused remains innocent until proven guilty. He was a normal person, but they said he was a member of a certain organization and he was a terrorist. When did they check these reports? Who has the right to say he was a terrorist? If terrorism is an accusation, it should be substantiated, and he should be indicted according to the law. It would be unfair to describe people as terrorists. This is unjust. Just for being a Muslim and refusing to follow the Americans or others, they would call me a terrorist? That is wrong. International laws guarantee the freedom of belief. Where are these laws? Have they disappeared because of the crazy political aspirations?
Who is perpetrating organized crimes in Somalia, such as ship piracy and other crimes?
That is important. Mercenaries financed by foreign bodies perpetrated these acts of piracy. They used to commit crimes, kidnapping. The Union of Islamic Courts was established in order to face them and was able to defeat them. With God's help, the Union of Islamic Courts contributed to ensure the world's stability because too many accidents used to take place in the Indian Ocean. The US troops were present there, but they could not stop these incidents. As the Union of Islamic Courts, it was able to oust the pirates and ended this phenomenon. The Union of Islamic Courts should have credit for this achievement.
What is your current vision for a solution? With whom would you like to engage in negotiations?
First, withdrawing the Ethiopian troops from Somalia, holding a reconciliation conference in a neutral country, inviting all concerned forces to take part in this conference,
إيجاد دعم دولي
ensuring international support for this conference and respecting the recommendation of this conference.
يتمخض عنها هذا المؤتمر.
هل تلقيتم خلال Did you receive any foreign support during the last periods of the conflict? Is it true that you received support from Eritrea?
هذه كلها أكاذيب.
These are nothing but lies.
نحن لم يأتي إلينا أي
We
دعم
did not
خارجي
receive any foreign support.
للصومال. كلها كانت
Our only support was our people's solidarity
تكاثف هذا الشعب
for the sake of a project carried out by the Union of Islamic Courts.
الخطة التي عرضت The government's plan or the proposals for negotiations or reconciliation, do they contain any points you agree on?
هذه أصلا ليست مصالحة.
This is not a reconciliation that we could